So this is the end of box 4, bag 9, and I've kind of skipped, I think I skipped 7 and 8. Basically, this is box 4. So what we've got now is the interior, which is this beige color. I'm assuming it's supposed to be leather. Okay, and the seats. And we've got these front fenders. I think this came in here. This came in. And you notice how heavy this thing is getting. The poor, this poor, oh, the other Lego set is just getting crushed now. This thing is getting very, very heavy. I think the next, I think it's box 5, and so that's going to finish out the front end. I think the back end is effectively done. Turn this thing around. Ugh. Be careful, like that's. There are parts now that if I'm not careful, I can break off. But that's the. So that's the steering wheel, and these are the floppy paddle shifters, and there's no leg room on this side. So it goes, I guess. But you know, there's a seat, and you know, there's an instrument panel with dials. I assume these are supposed to, I'm not sure if these are dials or if that's part of the ventilation system in the car. That's still the forward reverse shifter. Like I said, this got added, this got added. I don't know what the heck these are going to end up being. Imagine when the doors get done, I'll find out. But this thing is just getting heavier and heavier. I don't know if it's still the point where I can pick it up in one hand. Yep. It's still possible to pick this up with one hand. So box 5, I think that's the last box. Yeah, probably is the last box in the box. But and that will finish out the front. And I imagine the doors will come in somewhere in the next box of parts. But and at some point I'll get tires. Haha. That would be nice. I don't know. As far as getting into the drivetrain on this thing, I think I'm still stuck with that. Taking out that yellow piece in there and getting onto the engine. I have to go look at the Porsche and see if there's something on there that's kind of similar. I was thinking of put a pinion and another pinion above it and bridge across between those two open holes there, just above the yellow piece. I don't even know how many studs that is. It might. I don't even know if that's enough to put a. I don't know if it's a 5. I'll have to measure it. See if there's a 5 across. And then, but I would still have to come out at an angle off of that. I could put that yellow piece back in. Probably. I'll have to look at that. I'll have to look at that and see if that's going to be possible. But so this is the end of box 5, bag 11. And I think there's only one bag left. So what's happened now is that the front end structure is starting to become defined. The fenders went on before, but now I've got the fenders tightly tied into structure. There have been a couple of cross members that have gone in here now that tie the fenders into structure. So So like I said, I think I've said before, this thing is remarkably overbuilt. I think they could have done maybe 20% less parts than they've used, than they've actually used. But what's happened, because of those extra parts, this thing is very, very robust. So the other thing that happened on this is now I have doors. Someone commented that the doors were flimsy. I don't think the doors are really that flimsy. I mean, they're a little flimsy from kind of, I guess you'd say, a door. Sheesh, that box down there is suffering so badly. I have to weigh this thing. This is getting pretty damn heavy. So again, we've got the passenger side doors. Oh, and there are decals for, you know, the inner door panel. So I think that goes up like that, and that's maybe a little, if anything, that's maybe a little flimsy there. But that's, I think, part of the, you know, defining the ductwork that goes to cool the engine. But so we've got a lot of this front structure defined now, and like I said, the fenders are now structural. You know, I can pick the thing up by the fenders, whereas earlier they were just secured there. And so now we're going on to bag 12, which, as far as I know, is the final bag. This is a quick update looking at, I'm probably about midway through bag 12, and the front end's starting to come together. So I thought I'd just take a quick capture of, you know, what's going on. This has come on. This is half, so there's another piece coming over here. I guess these are the radiators. There's one underneath here. So the whole geometry of the front is starting to come together. And imagine in another hour or so, I'll probably have this thing done.